We are now in the Shevet in the Chemta, which means the 7 Haftarot that we read after Tisha B'Av. Anochi hu menachem. That's what we read in the Haftarah of Shoftim. But all the Haftarot are basically one, is the Psikta writes, it's HaKadosh Baruch Hu being Menachem. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu is mitzaveh to the tzaddikim. He goes to tzaddikim and says, please be Menachem, appease them, make them feel better about the difficulties that they went through, the difficulties of the Galut, the difficulty of the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash. That's the first one. And then afterwards we have Avram Avinu in one Haftarah, then we have Yitzchak being Menachem, we have Yaakov being Menachem, we have Moshe Rabbeinu being Menachem. Everyone comes to appease us, to console us after the tragedy of the Galut with the Churban Beit HaMikdash. And then finally at the ends we have Yerushalayim asking for certain tanchumim, and then Kodesh Baruch Hu b'chvoidu be'atzmai anochi menachem. I'm the one who goes ahead and gives you a nechama. Understand, that is the yesod of everything that we read during this time of nechama. And here we are going through a long galut, not a difficult one, especially Tafshin Pei Daled this year has been one of the most difficult years that we've seen, obviously, since the Holocaust. And if we skip over the Holocaust for probably a couple centuries at least, an incredible amount of people have passed away. And just now, unfortunately, we found that 6 of our captives were gruesomely killed in a horrific way, at point blank, in a way that was just completely done by a butcher of people, just people who have no rachmanut to be able to do such things for absolutely no reason. Ein kol chadash tachat hashemesh. We're familiar with this. We are a people that have faced 2,000 years of this type of difficulties, and b'chol yom v'yom anu modim al emunotenu. But we go and we've gone year by year, day by day, on a constant basis, admitting, confessing to our Amunah, understanding that Afal Pi Sheyitma Mea Im Kol Zeh Achakelo, we know that Mashiach will come. We're familiar that Bechol Yom Sheyavoy, and we know that he's going to come. And even though we get to situations of almost yiush, of just giving up, of not knowing, not seeing that light at the end of the tunnel, where is the Yeshua going to come, and how can it come to situation? And we still know, and we still admit to the fact, and we know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will bring the Mashiach, and it will come befeta pitom. It will come automatically, quickly, in an immediate situation. Ad kedei kach that b'yom hadin hagadol, when a person goes up to Shamayim, as the Chofetz Chaim used to say, I hope you're going to be able to answer yes to that question. Sepita li Yeshua? Were you waiting for the Yeshua? Were you properly waiting for Mashiach to come? The Chofetz Chaim used to always ask people, are you going to be able to say yes, yes, with a real affirmity, with really knowing that it's true? Sepita li Yeshua. Are you going to be able to answer that question without any type of wavering in your voice? So yes, when we're going through a situation like this, we ask ourselves and we wonder, how? How will it come so fast? It's been so long. And yes, we've spoken about it through all the, after the Holocaust, you want with Corona, if you want, during the times that we've gone through the 6-day war, the Yom Kippur War, and now we have it during this Charvot Barcel, all these wars we've said, yes, is it coming? So let me explain to you a very important yesod from Rabbi Pinkus, the understanding behind this idea, and very short, straight, and poignant to the point. Because Chazal compare the idea, the Nevi'im already compare the Geula and Mashiach to a woman who's impregnated. Let's not talk about the fact that when she's giving birth, just the fact that when she's pregnant, as the Pasuk says in Yeshaya, B'terem tachil yelada. Even before one is already pregnant, she's already bearing the child. And this geula is so similar to that, because even though 9 months, and be'emet, as women in this camera will understand what I'm saying, 9 months is a long time to have a child. It's not easy. It's a very long and difficult process. It's not so easy. And every day that goes by, though, she knows she's one day closer to Bezrat Hashem, having her own child, to be able to have a boy or a girl, Bezrat Hashem, to be, these days you have to say, or other, to be able to give birth to a child. And every day as it continues and the process continues, you're getting kadima. You're getting one step closer to there, even though that 9-month process is not easy. But even more than that, the longer the process continues, the closer you're getting to the final destination, then you start feeling extremely heavy. The situation becomes extremely uncomfortable. It becomes difficult. So you're saying it'd be better if a woman, a Rebbitzin, was giving the shiur right now. And as we all know, it becomes almost to a situation where it's unbearable. You're not able to function so much. We know many women who are working, they take off the 9th month from work, and even though they know they're going to get off for after giving birth, because that 9th month is already, it's just, as they say, too much. Ad kan, I can't handle it. It becomes to a situation where I'm just overdue. I can't handle it. And you're just waiting, as they say, for the situation to continue, to move on and change the situation. Because that's what happens in this long and tedious process. But the heavier it gets, the more uncomfortable it gets, the closer you know that we're almost there. We're almost there. And that's mamash the same yesod as the Geula. Yes, it is day by day. And yes, it's been a long process. 2,000 years is not short. We haven't gotten to 2,000 years yet, but it's getting close. And it's been a long time. And like we said, it's a situation where it's becoming unbearable. It's becoming, we have no respect, where no people don't honor us, people are just putting us down, and suddenly you want to say Karafayan, boom, all of a sudden everyone's just going to honor us, they're going to put us on a pedestal. Eretz Yisrael is going to be number one in the list. Everyone's going to give kavod to the Melech HaMashiach, to the Ben David. He's the one who's going to be able to be the one who's going to, in one turnover, in a keherifying, in one blink of an eye, all of a sudden everything's going to change. And the answer is yes. We are people that are so familiar with this concept. Yitzchak Avinu, one of the greatest of our avot, the one who was nikrav al Akedah and still on the Akedah, sitting on the Mizbeach. How was he born? He was born in a situation of impossibility. Avraham Avinu at being 100 and his wife at 90 years old, and suddenly he's going to a stage of absolute yiyu. She said she was withered. It's not possible. And yes, from there comes the tzchok. From there comes the laughter. Az yisachik malipina. Then our mouths will be full of tzchok, because it's a situation of impossibility. But from there comes the point of laughter. Yosef HaTzadik, he was in a situation that became the king of Mitzrayim till his death. For many, many years he was the king of Mitzrayim until he died, almost 70 years. And you know where he was? People think he was in jail for 10 years. He was not in jail. He was in a pit. He was in a dungeon. He did not see any light. Similar to those unfortunate lot of our hostages that are underneath the tunnel right now. And they, for their purposes, they think they're in an end sentence, that they don't see the next day. They wake up every day not knowing what's going to be tomorrow. He was there 12 years, but he was really there in his position as a life sentence. There was no reason to pull him out. No one understood why he should be pulled out in the situation that he was, and mamash literally keherifying within a few hour period, he went minama makim from the depths of the depths to going to Rosh Hashanah. He went to be able to be Evan Masu Aboinim Haita Rosh Hashanah. He ended up being from the top of the top, ended up being a king and remaining a king forever till the end, till he ended up dying. Yaakov Avinu ended up having 12 Shvatim. Think about his situation. He was chased by a brother who wanted him dead. He had to run away. Eliphaz, the son of his brother, ended up coming, taking all his money. Okay, so he had some pocketed money. It was all gone. He was a poor man. He had nothing to do. And he had to work by some ramai, some cheat scandal for 20 years. Bekerach Balayla. He had to suffer in the bitter cold during that whole entire time. Where is he going to see the end? B'makli avarti at the Yarden Hazeh. He crossed over the Jordan with his makel, with his shirt on his back, just a stick. He had nothing to say for it. And here it is, he was able to be mamid the 12 Shvatim, to have the 12 Shvatim, which is the beginning of Klal Yisrael. We are called Al Shem Yisrael, because he is our Avi Avot, because of his situation, which happened, Pepeta Pitom. It all happened because of his koach to be able to make that turnover. And lastly, David HaMelech. Of course, the example of examples, 26 years, the man was abandoned. He was abandoned. He was set in the cherem. They put him in situations where it was unlivable to be able to be out in the boondocks, out in the woods, together with a bunch of sheep, almost eaten a number of times by lions. And, he didn't, this was a life sentence. Again, for all he knew, this is it. That's going to be the rest of his life. In a heref ayin, in Mamish, Yeshua Hashem keref ayin, Shmuel, after trying all the other sons, calls in David HaMelech, puts some shemen on his head, he puts some oil on his head, and appoints him to be the king of Israel for the rest of his life. He ended up being the king for the rest of his life. Yeshua's Hashem Kerefine, especially Melech HaMashiach. Here we have with David HaMelech with the king, with Yosef HaTzadik who is the king, Yosef Mashiach ben Yosef. The idea of Mashiach, the idea of kingship happens Kerefine, and it happens from a situation which looks bleak, which looks like there's no way out of it. We come from a situation where we don't know where the end of the tunnel is, and it seems a matzav of Yush, but we end up making it. Listen to 1948, what happened. I understand the signatures over there was a miracle. The fact that they signed us in that we should be able to have this land. They really 2 minutes later they had charata. They felt bad that they signed the paper, but a Kadosh Baruch Hu signed it for them. And then immediately we won a war with no weapons. We were mamash empty here. We were living with tin cans here. I'm telling you, we had nothing to do, nothing to protect us, to be able to situation. We were dealing with countries all over the place that were trying to abolish us, get rid of us, to totally obliterate us from the face of the earth, and they would have been so happy. No one would have felt a little bit of remorse about doing such a thing. And all that what? Ki Hashem Elokim. Because we know Kadosh Baruch Hu is Malek Kol Haaretz Kvodo Moivishu Masher. Mashpil Af Meroimim. He can put us down and he can put us up. He's the one who can take care of us. Ein Dever Katan Ki Gadol. There's nothing in front of him. That doesn't matter if it's big or small. And if that's true, then we know when Mashiach will come, it will come Kerefayin. Even in the situation that we're living, like I said, in a very difficult situation, this Hamas or Rishoim Gmurim, the Hezbollah are trying to destroy us from left and right, and we know that here we are surrounded by 5 countries that are trying to obliterate us, and even the ones that are at peace with us. How much weapons did they find in Mitzrayim and Egypt that are just holding on to these weapons in order just to transfer more of them to the Hamas? We found it, we cut them red-handed, and they're still telling us to leave open the tzir, to leave open the tzir Philadelphia, what it's called, the open canal, in order that they can equip them with more weapons with Hamas. There's no end to such a war. There's no end. There's only one end, and that's Melech HaMashiach, that we put our davening in, that the Yeshua should come, B'karav B'yameinu. Amen.